when we were in the Fun and Hacking Live, they was saying like 46% of the jobs going to be taken by 2030. That's ridiculous if you think about it.
I don't think AI is going to replace people per se, but I think it will definitely replace people who don't use it.
Exactly. I was like, oh, I'm going to open my own business, then I'm going to be so successful, I'm going to be a millionaire, but wrong. And it was just so difficult. Like a sleepless night, working your ass off for a year, not making money. And I had a friend that was partnered with me, and the same, just working so hard, not getting a result. But unfortunately, what happened was she took her life. And that was the moment for me that became my mission. So I became obsessed with just helping entrepreneurs.
You've set the record for over 300K in a month. What's the average person does monthly recurring revenue?
Skool Game winners, they usually get around 150.
So you doubled, you were behind until halfway of the month. What was your strategy when you realized that's where you were?
I do remember that night. It was like, it must be a way, or we'll make a way. And all of a sudden, something that click in your head, you have that genius idea that come up. That was the genius idea, was Irresistible offer. So we launched that offer, and in 3 days, we did 60K MRR. We jumped back to number one.
So what was the offer?
The offer was that this.
Atena, so you have built a $20 million business in under 12 months. So 20 million valued company in under 12 months with AI. What's the brutal truth about AI right now, and what do people need to know?
It's like AI is a gold rush at the moment. Obviously, there's a lot of opportunity. It's trend. We all heard of the trend, what the trend is, and catching the trend early. So what I could say is, one of the truth is, especially when it comes that if you want to build a business and have an exit, right? Because building a business is one thing and having a revenue, but another thing you think about, how can I build a business that I can have 20x multiple exit, 100x? And currently, there's a lot of investors that only invest in the AI startups. And the AI startups having a ridiculously high multiples. Why? Because usually they're profitable, they have less employees, and it's something that is high demand, low supply. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunity.
So AI startups, so that the company itself is just AI, like yourselves, or companies that are heavily using AI?
No. Well, obviously, when it comes to the companies have a software of their own. That's quite different with if you use other softwares. Because you use other software that doesn't apply to you. Mostly, if it depends on, like, even if a company uses AI, obviously they're more profitable, so they can save in the payroll and stuff. So it's going to affect the multiples, right? Because they're more profit. But if you want to think of like crazy multiples, like look at Cursor, for example, a company that value $1 billion.
Which one?
In a year, Cursor.
Cursor?
Yeah, CURSER, or it's OR, right? You think of that, so they have their own AI software. Then they could have like this crazy. But obviously the company that use AI, they also have higher multiples because they're usually profitable.
Yeah,
So
okay.
both.
So what are you seeing happening in the world right now with AI? Like, obviously you're very much in it. What do you see as happening that people listening to this really should pay attention to? Like, why should they listen for the next time we're talking this podcast?
So with the AI, what I would say that is, when the internet.com bubble happened, right? Internet came. If you remember that, there was a lot of people that were against it. They kind of like, I don't want to use the internet. It's actually one of my master classes. That's one of the video I play. Is it's just a record of the some families that they were saying, I'm never going to use internet. That's going to separate the families, blah, blah, blah. And then it gets to the point that they realize that, you know what, this is how it is. This is technology. We cannot be against the technology. And they warm up to it and they start using it. But the interesting thing is that if you go back to all of the successful companies like eBay, Amazon, Facebook, they all launched around the time that internet happened. Because they were the early adopter, they adopted the technology, they created a platform. That's why they became the billion-dollar companies. So what I can say for people here, that you have two ways. You could be kind of try to be against it. And they kind of like, you know what, AI is not good enough. I'm not going to do it. And my job not going to be taken. Or you could be say, how can I use this technology, being an early adopter, whether to build something with it or to use it to be able to scale my business faster, to be able to have the high profit. So you can choose to see which side you want to be.
Are you seeing people actually still against it or ignorant to the fact of it? Or when you're saying people aren't using it, because the way I think I think a lot of people use AI, but when they think they're using AI, they use ChatGPT for their Google searches. So they think like, oh, I'm using AI. I ask it questions and stuff. So do you say that people who are not using it properly or are not really involved in it, because I can't believe people would be against it at the moment. I don't know if I'm wrong, but is that what you're sort of referring to?
There are actually people that are against it too. They kind of like, they don't want to use it because they kind of like, you think about it, right? A lot of the jobs just kind of, I think that was a Tony Robbins that mentioned when we were in the Funny Hacking Live, that he was saying like 46% of the jobs going to be taken by 2030. That's ridiculous if you think about it. But there's some people that still haven't woken up. They still haven't woken up. They're kind of like, they're just sitting on the side to see what happens. One thing that is interesting is this. And that's just something actually I started finding out from our members. When people start seeing the people around them, like friends or family, start using AI. And what I mean by AI doesn't necessarily mean ChatGPT. Like that, for example, you take a course to upskill yourself in AI, right? Even to know how to use a ChatGPT, that could be upskilling in AI, right? Because ChatGPT is there, but you need to know how to use it because that's a tool. So any tool, if you don't know how to use it, you can't leverage it to the max. So they kind of like people sitting there to see what happens around it, especially in the group of friends and family. The moment they have like 2 or 3 friends that all took an AI course and they start feeling that scarcity, that I'm falling behind, they get that FOMO. And that's it. They start thinking of, oh, maybe I should learn AI too. So there are actually people that are still resistant to it. That kind of like, I'm just sitting here to see what happens. They're not actually going to say, you know what? I'm going to do whatever it takes to learn ChatGPT. I'm going to do whatever it takes to learn this AI software that exists. They're not going to do it. They're just like sitting there, relax.
Yeah, because I can see, even as an employer, right? I think a lot of people are thinking, AI is going to replace me. I don't think AI is going to replace people per se, but I think it will definitely replace people who don't use it.
Exactly.
Because even 100%. As an employer, if let's say I'm going to hire someone for head of marketing, my marketing manager, and I say, what AI software are you familiar with? I don't really use it. Bottom of the, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I don't want someone running that division if you don't understand how to use some basic tools to get things done more efficiently. So as an employer, I can definitely be seeing in the very near future, if not right now, if you're not actually skilling up in it to help your role, you won't get jobs anymore.
Exactly. That's why you're going to be replaced basically by someone that learns it.
Someone who does use it.
Exactly.
Yeah, because absolutely. Yeah, because like all of our marketing team, social media team, they're all on it. Like they got it. Like if you're not using it, like I'm not paying you to edit a video manually anymore. Like you've got to speed that shit up.
That's one of the requirements when we interview too. Like, do you know AI? Yes, I do. I use ChatGPT. No, I mean like, how do you use AI? Do you know AI software? Do you know that? And the more there's someone that knows about AI, they're highly likely that we're going to employ them. And exactly what you said. So AI is not going to replace the job. The people that use AI are going to replace you.
Yeah.
I would say that would be the quote.
So you went from a whole traditional marketing, like you're in traditional marketing, you were in tech and things like this. And then you came out of the woodworks. You were the winner of the Skool Games last year. You went from 0 to over $300,000 a month in recurring revenue in a single month. And you won the Skool Games and you've been crushing it since. I want to dive into that journey for a second. So walk me through that journey of you actually building this business and scaling that, like, because so many other people also try to win the Skool Games and do all these things as well. What did you see that other people didn't?
Mindset.
How so?
Honestly, like I opened my community in May. That's when I opened it. I had that vision then. I said that by the end of this year, I'm going to win the Skool Game as a number 1 and break all the records. I manifested it basically. It's all mindset. I said I would do whatever it takes. So I planned for it months in advance that I'm going to the direction of participating. I didn't know which month, but I knew by the end of the year I'm going to do it. And it was around end of October that I made a decision. November is the month that I'm going to participate in the Skool Game. So we had a couple of weeks to plan for it. Basically, we had the whole October to plan for it. And I would say, like, I don't know if you know a story that we literally were number 5 or 6 up until halfway through the game. There was no way we would have been able to push up. That month was the most competitive month. It was very competitive. I do remember there was an e-commerce creator that jumped on board with 1 million followers. And I was like, holy crap. And he did like 50K overnight. I'm like, how are we gonna, it's impossible for us to be able to outbeat him. Impossible. And like people were saying that it's impossible. And then I'm like literally saying, Atena, impossible is million tried. Never ever give up. And you will do whatever it takes. And it always, honestly, it was just mindset. Mostly mindset of not giving up and being so determined about achieving the goal that I wanted to. That's how I started with that.
How did you not let someone come out of the woodworks like that with all the cards stacked against you? Like they've got the 1 million followers, 50K overnight. How did you not let that derail you? How did you not get into your own head and be like, fuck, maybe I should try next month?
Of course it did. I had that bitch inside my head. I said, Atena, you cannot do anything. It's impossible. I have people around me saying that, give up. That's not going to happen. But, that part of me just was going to say, I will do whatever it takes. I'm going to be number one 100%, and I will do whatever it takes. It's just having that mindset of, I will do whatever it takes 100%. I will achieve it. And the interesting thing is that before that, when we decided to participate in the Skool Game, I talked to a couple of other creators. I was in a podcast. And then I said to people that I'm going to be 100% number one. And I said, if I'm not going to be number one, I'm going to pull out. So my plan was this, okay? My plan was, and that's a bit crazy because the top 10 are the winner, and then they still get to go to meet with Alex Hormozy and Sam Oven, but they don't get any prize, but they get the trophy and, recognition. And I told to everyone, if I'm not going to be number one, I'm going to pull out. And they were saying, you crazy? I was like, I am crazy. Yeah, you need to be crazy. So what I would say that I didn't give myself a second choice. There was only one choice, one path. It's either this or nothing. Because the moment that I'm going to give myself second choice, and it's okay, as long as you're top 10, you're still going to be winner, you're still going to get trophy, then all of a sudden my brain I'm going to be lazy because I accepted the failure. And it was no choice. So I punish myself. I give myself a punishment of, if you don't become number one, you pull out. That punishment was so scary because if I did that for the rest of my life, I'm going to say, you know what? Especially that the Skool Game completely changed after that.
Yeah, you made them put in your rules, didn't you?
Yeah, I know. Like after that, everything changed completely. But I'll go through that story shortly. But yeah, I think like that mindset of that punishment that I put, and I was scared of that punishment because I made a promise to myself I will pull out of the competition for number one. And I just went for it.
You know what I found very, very interesting? That 97.8% of you that listen and view this podcast haven't yet subscribed. Now, if you're looking for the one way that you can actually help us build this show into something that's going to be absolutely incredible and life-changing for you, the one thing you can do is to hit that subscribe button, because it takes a lot of time, effort, and money that we put into this podcast to make it what it is. And we've made it very clear that we never want to run ads or sponsors or anything like that on this show. So the only way that we can actually grow this channel is by subscribers. And I promise to you that if you hit that subscribe button and you help this show grow, then I'm going to continually keep bringing more, bigger and better guests to teach you the skill set and the mindset that you wish you learned earlier in life. So please, it'll mean the world to me if you hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and do that right now. Now let's get into this episode.
So what did you do then? What would what's the average? Like you've set the record for over 300K in a month. What's the average person does monthly recurring revenue in other months before you, just so people can get context?
Yeah, Skool Game winners, they usually get on 150.
That's still pretty amazing. Okay,
the number one.
Yeah. So you doubled. Okay.
Yeah.
So what did you do? Like, what was your sort of strategy to sort of, you said you were behind until halfway of the month. What was your strategy when you realized that's where you were, but there's no point, that you gave yourself that sort of ultimatum? It was like, I'm going to win or I'm not. What were the key changes you made? Because obviously if you kept doing what you're doing the first 2 weeks, you weren't going to win. So yeah, what did you change?
So I would say, Atena, if you're going to continue doing the same thing, you're going to lose it. You have to completely do something different. And that was the thing that I was like, I have to do something different. What I did that, I literally do remember, I didn't sleep all night, that entrepreneur visionary. I literally was thinking, I had like my laptop there, I had motherboard, like so many things. I was like, okay, I do this. No, this is not going to work. I do that. Then I'm going to work. Oh, I'm going to employ someone. It's too late to employ someone. You cannot bring it because we didn't have any sales team. We had no sales team. Just imagine no sales team. And all of these other people that are competing with me, they have like a sales team of 20 people, 30 people, 40 people. So I was competing with them, no sales team. And we were doing webinars then, right? We were doing a lot of webinars. That's how we got that. And I'm like, if you continue to do webinar, and then I was like, what about if I do more webinars? I was like, no. Even if you do more webinars, it's not enough time for advertising. You're not going to get anyone, blah, blah. It's not going to work. I changed one thing, that it was literally 5 a.m., me thinking all night, going like crazy, having like, those moments. It must be a way. It must be. I do remember that night. I was like, it must be a way. It must be a way. I will make a way. It literally mindset. Then all of a sudden, something that click in your head. You have that genius idea that come up. That was the genius idea, was irresistible offer. That irresistible offer that I play around, I created that in the so creative way that it was so insane that no one in the history of a school created an offer like that. So clever in the way that I was meeting the regulation of the competition.
What was the offer?
The offer was complicated. I'll go through that a little bit. But the thing was, because that offer was so good, I knew with that offer it's going to change the game. But then I was like, I need to check it with the Skool Game team, because it was so clever in the way that it's meeting the requirements of the Skool Game, the rules.
Mm-hmm.
However, it was tricky, if you know what I mean.
I don't know what you mean.
You're not breaking the rule.
Yeah.
It was in the way that... Okay, so this is what happened.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what the offer was.
Tell us.
Okay, that's what happened. I came up with that offer, I planned everything, and all I needed to do is get a confirmation from a school team. I sent them a message that morning. I said, this is my offer. Do you have any issue with that? And the guy, Kirby, that's his name, it's Kirby, he was responsible for all of that. He replied to me and he said, this is so smart, because I cannot reject you, but this is so smart. That means that he lets me to do that because he couldn't reject it. We're hitting all of the things. Because there's a rule that, for example, you cannot do this, you cannot do this. So I'll tell you what it was. It was simple as in a way, but it was so clever. So we launched that offer, and in 3 days, we did 60K MRR. In 3 days, we jumped back to number 1. And then it was halfway through the school again, and everyone saying that, what the hell just happened? Halfway through the game, all of a sudden, and we had the highest break record of MRR in the middle of the school game. Because what happened with the school game winners is usually the last 3 days, 3 days that they bump up. And then halfway through the game, that was so unusual, because then the people checking my social media, I don't have following. And they're like, what is she doing? And that was the irresistible offer, and it became the grand slam offer of the school. It went viral, that offer. And since then, a lot of people actually model us.
So what was the offer?
The offer was this. So what happens is that you join on the monthly, because with the school game, you cannot sell annual. So you only need to sell monthly, okay? You come the first month, and you join for $9.99 monthly. What happens is that after that, every month, USA, you unlock something, right? So second month, after 30 days, you unlock this. After 60 days, you unlock this. So as the people members stay longer, every month they unlock something. That something could be a boot camp, mastermind, one-on-one coaching, a course. But what was interesting was this. The first thing that they unlock on day 30, right before they have to renew, was 1 year access to the software. So that means they only pay for 1 month. They get 12 months access to the software. So, according to a school game, you cannot tell two people join 1 month and cancel, or you cannot have an offer to encourage that. Then you break the rule. However, because I tear it down for whole 12 months, every month you unlock something, and the first month was that, they could not reject it. Because it was a tier down. No one else in the whole school history did something like that. It was ridiculous.
Interesting. Okay, cool.
And that's what it was a no-brainer, because people have to pay $5K for the software.
Yeah.
I know. They pay $9.99, they churn, and they get to keep the software for a year.
If they stay 1 month.
No, the first month. If they only pay for the first month, they can churn it. They don't have to stay second month. But on day 30, that's right before they're about to churn or get charged again, they can churn, but they unlock the course that's going to come up and say, you get congratulations. You just unlock 12 months access to the software. That was so clever.
Yeah.
They couldn't reject me, but that they were all laughing, the whole team, that how clever this woman is, because this is ridiculous.
So
that's basically what happened.
Yeah. So you crushed it. So this way, because you've got two cool stories, like you've crushed it in the business, but how you've crushed it is because you're sort of really leading the way with AI. So I want people to really get a lot of value out of this, of how they can better use AI as well. So from everything you've seen, let's say someone watching this right now, they're kind of new. I'd consider myself new. Well, like, I'm not a tech person at all, but I'm aware of AI. I use the ones that I can use myself, or I hire people to learn the things. I'm aware of what has to happen. But what would be some of the most simplest ways for someone to start using AI right now? Like, what's the low-hanging fruit of AI that people can use to increase more revenue and more profits?
Marketing.
Okay, how?
Also AI for marketing. Because there's a lot of AI happening. When we talk about AI, it's very generic. We have AI that comes to automations, right? And that's something that actually, thank you for asking that question, because a lot of the beginners, they make that mistake. They think that, AI, we go and learn about make.com, there's N8N, and all of those AI automation tools, chatbots, blah, blah, blah. But this is what they're not realizing. Those automation tools and chatbot and stuff, it's not for the beginners. It's not for the small businesses, because small businesses, all they need to focus is leads. What is the point of doing automation and have a perfect system when you have no lead? This is a mistake they make. They go to these AI courses that sell them for $5,000-$10,000, learn about all of these complicated, techy stuff, make.com, and they start making really cool. They connect the Slack to Facebook, they connect Facebook to this, and all of that thing they build. And then at the end, they're going to realize that, okay, now I have this system, so where is the lead? Where is the customer? So this is the biggest mistake they make, because the reason I know that, when we talk to a lot of the leads that people want to join our program, they're going to say, like, I'm considering doing that. And they are completely beginner, and they're going to make their first 10K or 20K. That's the focus. And so, like, you don't need that, mate. You're going to start needing building a system once you make maybe your first 300, 400, 500K. You don't need that. You could literally be in a spreadsheet, starting a business. All you need to focus leads and customer, because that builds your cash flow to grow. You can build that thing later on. Don't put your focus and energy learning on the techie AI, unless you're going to provide it as a service. That's different. So that need to be clear about what they use AI. So you need to use AI for marketing as a beginner.
So what can they use? How specifically can they use AI for marketing? Like, what tools are out there that they could use?
So when we talk about marketing, obviously, like, it comes to, okay, how can you get lead? Okay, one is that to do paid ads, paid advertising. One is the content creation, organic. So you need to choose one path. Could you do both? Maybe, but as a beginner, like, there's so much things that we want to do. We cannot really focus on one. From my experience is that doing the ads is bring you quicker revenue and cash flow and customers, because, like, you literally overnight, you can start getting leads. When you're going to do content, it's a bit more longer term strategy. So what I suggest that you do to people that, okay, well, could go into the content, but you need to be aware of that. It might take 6 months to a year for you to start getting clients. So are you okay with that? Because some people don't need money, so I don't care about it. I'm going to start a YouTube channel and, do that. So you can use AI for both. Whatever direction that you choose, if you want to, monetize it straight away, do paid ads. If you're happy to wait 6 months to a month, then do content, you could use AI for both. So that's the first step of using AI, is to basically use it for lead generation, which is basically either paid ads. What I mean by paid ads, that you need to use AI to write the better ads. You need to use AI for, like, with the Facebook advertising, that is AI feature that we use. Instead of we try to target it, say that, in the past traditional, I'm pretty sure that most of the marketers do the same thing, because they're not aware of that. We used to say, demographic between 15 to, 25, 30, woman, blah, blah, blah. But the AI feature of the Facebook, you literally don't set any targeting at all. You don't set any demographic. There's no interest, nothing. You just let the Facebook to decide. We did that the entire whole Skool Game, and we were crushing it. And this thing, simple thing, people don't know.
So you're using it to just get better clicks, cheaper clicks, better conversions through your ads and things like this.
Because AI, I think that launched around maybe a year ago, that Facebook launched that feature. With that feature, is basically Facebook will decide it based on your competitors, based on your branding, based on everything, and that does a lot better job than you, because when you're going to set the interest and the demographic, then you're limiting what could be potentially your better. So that's like a simple like that.
Yeah.
People don't know.
So you're referring to your software specifically, right? It's how you use your software. So for someone who is not using your software, what's out there that they could actually tangibly take from that right now and go, well, how can I use what's already available to me? Like, let's say if they don't join your software or don't have about your thing. Like,
Facebook has nothing to do with my class software.
Yeah. So, but what AI platforms are out there that someone could actually plug into today that could improve the quality of their copywriting or their conversion or to help them in marketing?
But obviously, I don't recommend any other copywriting software because for copywriting, I 100% recommend our software. And the reason being is that other copywriting software like Jasper.com, there's Copy AI, I can bring the name and I'll explore all of them. The problem with them that all it is just a prompt behind the tool, right? There's a prompt, but the disadvantage of that, like there's other things that are happening. For example, there's no connected tool. They don't have modeling tool. So you can't really model. So you're kind of trying to reinvent the wheel. And you know that I teach about no output is perfect. Any output that comes until it gets tested, how do we skip the trial and error? So I don't recommend any of them, but obviously it's better than using nothing. And I would say, okay, having a good prompt, that's something that helps. When you want to use the ChatGPT, obviously if you know how to prompt it, then you get a better output for the copy.
Yeah.
So there are so many different things. Like what I'm all about is one thing that I've learned during my marketing. I actually learned it from Russell Brunson. I think he's the original creator of like a funnel. You know, the whole funnel hacking that he's teaching is all about modeling. And obviously from Tony Robbins too, that he says that if you want to succeed, find someone already successful and model the success. So as a beginner, especially as a beginner, what I would suggest that this modeling skill set is going to help you in life and business and everything. Not necessarily just for marketing, for everything. It's just like a skill set. To give an example, when I opened my school community in May, okay, so from May to November, we became #1 community. Good. And we grew so rapidly. And everyone talking about my success. How could you have a very successful community in such a short period of time? And I said, I model the successful ones. So what I did that when I opened my community, I freaked out because that was like, what is this? I don't know how this works. I don't know anything about it. And there's not like many people specialize on teaching you about a school. That doesn't exist, right? So you have to figure things out yourself. And all I did that, I just spent the first 2 weeks roughly, I joined 10 other top 10 communities in the school. And I just observed them. I just observe what they're doing. How the classroom look like, how often they post, what the posts look like, what is the follow-up look like. And I got the good thing from each. I put them all together. Then I launched my community and a huge success overnight. My trick was just modeling the success part. I didn't try to figure this thing out. It's the same thing with marketing.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you, even though I think you've kind of already mentioned it, but because I like the way you think. Like you've sort of blown up really quickly. That's what it looks like, and you're very, I wouldn't say unapologetic. It's almost like you operate with no friction. It's like you operate with like, I'm just gonna ask what I want, and you're just moving. Like you're speaking here, you're doing that, and I'm just trying to unpack the difference between what you think, what you believe to be true about your success and why other people don't move as quickly as you. So if you were to sort of put it down to something, what would you say is different about how you approach business than what the average person would?
Well, mindset, obviously one. Number 2 is work ethic. That's the second one. Insane work ethic. It's very hard to outbeat or outwork me. Very hard. I did have that competition where like even when we went to the Vegas for a week, I spent a couple of days with all the Skool Game winners. We were all together, and I would still wake up 3 a.m. working, and it was like, Atena, no one can outbeat you. Like how? Like you're on holiday, bro. Like no, there's no holiday. It's discipline. It's just like no matter what, it's my best day. I'm still up 3 a.m. I don't use any excuses. I travel. I don't use excuses. Or I'm jet lagged. Let's just sleeping. It's just like a discipline and work ethic and continuous work ethic, not like you're hyped for a week, then you give up. It's like consistent, persistent for the last 1.5 years, I would say.
What's motivating you? Like, why do you do that?
What motivate? Yes, good question. Actually, motivation is important. I would say that it's a little bit of the come from the backstory.
What's the backstory?
I want to go through the
What's the backstory?
backstory. So yeah, I had a failed business in the past. So when was it? A couple of years ago, I think like 7, 8 years ago. That's quite interesting because, I was a very successful marketer, very successful, really good in marketing as CTO. And then I told to myself, why do you work for other people, Atena? Why don't you start your own business? And back then I used to be in e-commerce. And then I was like, oh, I'm going to open my own business. Then I'm going to be so successful. I'm going to be a millionaire. But wrong. Very wrong. Because when you start your own business, marketing is 10% of your business, the whole operation and understanding. So I opened a fashion company. Because my specialty in e-commerce was the fast fashion. That was my specialty. A lot of fashion. Like I probably worked with like 30, 40 huge fashion e-commerce company in the world, and as a digital marketer, as a different roles. And then I opened a fashion company. I went to China. I went to Canton Fair. I started designing clothes, buying clothes. Oh my goodness. Then I realized that I didn't even get to the point of commercializing that. Not even commercializing that, because it was a lot involved. So much was involved. And it was just so difficult. Like a sleepless night, working your ass off for a year, not making money. You're just working. And I had a friend that was partnered with me in that business. And the same. Just working so hard, not getting a result. But unfortunately, what happened was she took her life. And that was the moment for me that, it's business failure, and that became my mission. I was like, entrepreneurship sucks. At the moment, so I didn't want to be an entrepreneur anymore. And then part of me waking up said, Atena, maybe she didn't die for no reason. Maybe you could be the person that, can change the game of the entrepreneurship and help them. So I became obsessed with just helping entrepreneurs. So what drives me? Just helping entrepreneurs.
So helping entrepreneurs so they can do it with more ease.
So they don't have to go through all of those shit.
Mm.
Because like every entrepreneur, there's a family. They are a friend, they are a mom, they are a dad. There are lives that depend on them. And then you'll be surprised to actually know that how many of entrepreneurs take their life. It's actually common.
Mm.
Take their life, they go through depression.
What do you think the main reason why people get depressed in business?
Because you just work so hard and you're not progressing.
Mm.
You feel like that, that's why you either go to depression or you take your life or you go back to a full-time job after a while. Because what happens, say, I was working 9 to 5, I was earning 100K or 50K. Now I'm working, 5 to 7, 14 hours there and not even making any money. Why the hell would I do that?
Mm.
So it's just too difficult. I'm like, it must be a way. This is ridiculous. It must be a way. And it kind of, I set that mission then. And what happened was, I was a huge fan of Gary Vee. And he came to Sydney a couple of months after that. And when he came to Sydney, then I found out where his hotel is because I wanted to meet him. And, I was feeling so down and depressed and all of that after what happened. I was like, I didn't even want to go back to be an employee anymore. And then when I met him, then I went found where his hotel is. So I stayed in the lobby of the hotel all day in the hope of him coming out inside. I didn't know where he is. So he walked in with his shopping bag.
Did you find him?
Yeah, I found him. So I think it was like evening, 5, 6 p.m. He walked in with his shopping bag. It actually has a picture. Maybe we can put that picture as a B-roll. And he had his bodyguard with him. And then I walk over to him, and then the bodyguard tried to say that's okay. So I had a chat with him. I told him what happened. Then I told him that, like a crazy woman, I said that I just want to do something for entrepreneurs. I don't know what to do. I feel like that my friends died for nothing. I don't want it to feel that way. And it must be a way. And she told me that if you want to change the world and truly do something about it, there's only one way. And I said, what is that? He said that you need to be very creative. You need to be creative to do innovation. And I said, I'm not creative. And he said, it's very simple though. No one is creative. You need to activate your creativity. I was like, how do I activate it? And he said, touch your head. The creativity is sitting right there in your brain. And you need to activate it by every morning you wake up, ask yourself this question. How can I be more creative than yesterday? So you practice it, you accumulate, and after a year, you're 365% more creative than last year. That creativity, one day, you're going to create something really big that your name is going to be in the history. That's exactly what he said. He manifested my future. And I've been doing practicing creativity since it's been like years. So I rewire my brain to think out of the box. And that irresistible offer I mentioned to you earlier, that people were saying how it happened. My brain just thought very out of the box.
And so you're working so much now. How much of your business runs without you, or have you boxed yourself in a little bit at the moment? You've grown quickly. It's not, we were talking to my friend before we started here, where he's making about $1 million a year, 98% of profits, because he does it all himself. And he knows that if he was to go harder, to go to 3 mil, he might probably give up $1 million in salaries or the rest of it. So it's like, are you willing to triple your business just for that little bit more? So I would probably imagine that you are doing a shitload right now. So how much of your business runs without you at the moment?
Honestly, it's still a lot. I reckon if I manage, it's going to be very, very hard. Obviously, we have a software that would stay stuff, but I'm still very much involved.
Yeah.
Because I'm the face of the business also. Like, we run a mastermind, which I run a lot of live sessions. So if I disappear, what's going to happen with being a face of the business? I guess that's one of the problems with personal branding too. It's so much the face of the business. And also we literally just put together a sales team. We never had a sales team. And there's a lot involvement with that, getting a sales manager, train them. And I'm learning about all of that too, because I never ran their sales teams in the past. I don't know how that works. So I'm still a lot involved. I think it's still going to be at least 1 or 2 years to get to the point that I can say, the business all run by itself.
How are you seeing, so you work with a lot of business owners, how are you helping other business owners replace themselves with AI so they can get out of the day-to-day?
Well, I'd also think about it. Obviously, I'll make good money, but if you don't want to make a lot of money, then you didn't have to be involved as much.
Yeah.
I'm just, ambitious, and I just want to keep growing. With the AI, you can definitely save time. One thing that AI can replace though is management. So a lot of things I do in the business, they're not necessarily, transactional. It's more about the managing the team. That's something that still you cannot replace it, unfortunately. You can have AI to be able to manage your team, politics, and everything that comes with it.
People management, yeah.
People management still doesn't exist with AI. Maybe one day, maybe I could create that, because that's one of our biggest pain point at the moment is this. Like, I'm managing everyone. Constantly chasing, make sure they're doing their job properly, make sure the training also is a bit harder. But definitely AI can save a lot of time, is more transactional things. And also, if you want to work in the marketing, you could just get better results, not necessarily saving time, because you could spend a minute, work with ChatGPT to create a Facebook ad, but that Facebook ad doesn't work. It doesn't bring you ROI. So the time-wise is, but if then you go and use a good prompt or model someone else, then with the same effort, you can 2x in 5x in 10x in ROI, if you know what I mean. So time is one thing, but the other one is a result. Do you want to amplify your result, get a better result? And a lot of things obviously is time too, like when it comes especially into like content creation, editing and stuff. Like, if you're not using AI software for that these days, like, you really have to think why you're doing business, especially when it comes to content creation, because a lot of AI tools could do that.
What's been the coolest platform you've found, except for yours,
Yeah.
What's been like when you've been into this whole world, what's been the most fascinating thing you've found in AI where you're like, holy fuck, I can't believe that, we can
That
use that as our,
exists.
yeah.
I think one of the most favorite, I'm not using it anymore, but like Hagen, I was very, very fascinated by Hagen.
Hey, Jen.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that one do again?
Heygen for like cloning yourself and doing the personalized videos.
You don't like that anymore?
I like it. I just don't use it.
Yeah.
Because like my content is more personal branding. It's
Yeah.
not like I try to create it, but I was very fascinated with it, especially with the personalized video section of it. Because with the personalized video, we tried that for a while. We impress a lot of our clients. You kind of like every client that come on board, then you send them a video, personalized video saying the name, hey, Alex, welcome to the program, blah, blah, blah. And also you could use it for the Facebook ads too. So you could have those models that create the Facebook ads. So we tried that for a while. That was pretty good.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
where do you see it? Because there's a lot of people that are like all doom and glooming with AI, and there's some people that are like AI is gonna kill us all, and people's going crazy. I think, and it's
Yeah.
because it's something new. I'm sure if we were alive when people stopped using horse and carriages and the car came out, people were probably also freaking out about that. I know there was uproar when people were like, "There's tractors coming, all farmers are going to be replaced," and there's these patterns that happen in life, and we're in another one right now. What do you really think is going to be happening with AI? Like, I personally don't think there's this doom and gloom. I don't
No.
think. I think there's people. I think there's people a lot smarter than us out in the world
Yeah.
that if they're actually worried that robots would kill everybody, then it probably would be stopped already. But what do you really think is going to happen in the next 5 years, 10 years, career-wise, business-wise, entrepreneurship-wise? Like, what businesses do you think are going to be completely just crushed by AI?
Yeah, I do believe we're gonna have. In 5 years' time, if me and you sit in this room, there's a robot watching us. It will happen.
Mm-hmm.
I reckon in the next 5 years, in terms of robot, what business is gonna be crushed? The businesses that doesn't require much of the management, or I would say transactional, because a lot of things transaction could be done by AI. I think anyone that is in the transactional business, they're gonna be losing their job unless they're gonna learn about AI and use it themselves. As I said, AI, I don't think they're going to replace completely the humans and supervisors in terms of management. So what I would say that A players stay. If you're a C player, I reckon that you're going to be replaced by AI, to be honest.
Yeah, right.
I reckon you will be. So you need to do something about it. If you're not very good, you're just like doing some transactional task and you don't have brain, you don't have creativity, you don't have vision, you're going to be replaced with AI. I think you will. Any job that is transactional. So I reckon it's going to be a game of we losing C players going out of the picture.
What do you
going to have?
What do you think is protected still? Like, what do you think some industries are like, AI is not going to replace that?
What industries that will be replaced with AI? One thing that I know for certain, I predicted that trend. I reckon I talk the other way around. If you're going to say what would be the trend, because the more job get replaced by AI, there's more AI content coming, more robots, more of that. One thing going to be, we are at the moment is a trend. Actually, if you look at in the Google trend and you go for it, put like community or Skool or like VOP, all of those communities, they are at that stage of about to boom communities. Because a lot of more people are going to see the need of the human interaction, real human interaction. So communities is going to be a huge, huge trend. If you catch it now, I'm telling you, you're going to be very big and making a lot of money in 5 years' time. And that's something that I predicted that's going to be the biggest trend ever because of AI.
Just keeping human connection.
Human connection. Anything we come out, like in-person events going to be a lot more popular.
Person development.
In-person events.
In-person events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
IRL. IRL is going to be a lot more popular.
IRL?
It basically means in-person events.
Okay.
Yes, that's like a term for it. Yeah. In-person is even going to be more popular, more human interaction, communities, this sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because the more that this AI robots and that fakeness coming, that's going to go up. In terms of like what industries, I'm thinking like, I'm literally thinking about the psychologists, doctors, and thinking about that, like, yes, even the surgeries and stuff could be done by robots and psychologists could be replaced, but honestly, I think most jobs going to be affected, to be honest. You think about it. It's like, I would say just the management. Management is the only thing that's what I'm telling you, like A players that is on the high roles, I don't think they're going to go away.
Yeah, I think the number one skill, I think the two skills that will not be replaced by AI is speaking and leadership.
Exactly.
Because leadership essentially is speaking, it's communication.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a bigger need for leaders in the world because the bottom level sort of people will be replaced with AI.
Yeah.
And it's going to force people to have to level up, and it's going to push people higher to become leaders to manage more people.
Yeah.
So if people really need to be thinking about, they shouldn't be worrying about, I'm going to be replaced by AI. They need to be focused on what skill set do I need to develop so that AI doesn't fuck with me.
Exactly.
And it's leadership, influence, communication.
Yeah.
AI is not replacing that. You're not going to have AI software come in and manage an entire team and deal with internal politics or
that's exactly what
coach someone and mentor someone and all these things. I don't think that's happening.
Yeah, I do agree with that. So communities, leadership, management. That's what I told you. Like, it's one of the things you need to think about it. How can I upskill myself? And if you're going to say, Atena, that's good, you tell me, well, I'm a C player, I don't have particular skills, so what do I do? Okay, we'll push yourself out of the comfort zone.
Yeah.
Don't be so. How do I do that? How? Learn AI. If you learn AI, you're a C player, you're going to go get a job and you're going to say, hey, I know how to use Agent. I know how to use 11 Lab. I know how to write a good marketing copy. I know how to do that. 100% you're going to get a job and 100% you're going to be upper skill and you're going to be an A player. So it's very simple. If you're a C player, go learn AI, turn yourself to A player. It doesn't take long.
Yeah.
So that's very simple formula.
So for someone who wants to, leave this conversation and go have a deep dive in learning all things AI, where should they start?
I do actually have a AI marketing accelerator worksheet that I give away for free. I could do that. We could put the link maybe there.
You have a free community as well.
Yeah, I'll have a free community too.
You teach a lot of AI stuff in there?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We do. We have the courses about how to launch an AI agency, how much you can charge. We learn about different AI software. We have a ChatGPT course. ChatGPT course actually is very, very popular because it's like a nugget size videos, like 2-3 minutes, but literally to the point that people are going to say, wow, like 2 minutes video. Like
that's in your free community?
Yeah, it's in the free community. Oh my God. We give a lot of value.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So we can put that below.
Yeah.
In the show notes. Okay. So that'd probably be a great place to start, hey? Yeah. Even a course on ChatGPT.
Even a course on ChatGPT.
Right. Okay.
We actually got like over 100 testimonial 5-star out of that ChatGPT course. We love it.
I love it.
Love it.
So, okay.
The ChatGPT course is like literally 2 minutes. They're like 20, 30 episodes, 2 minutes each.
Yeah.
Makes it like under an hour. Then you're a ChatGPT expert.
I love it.
Yeah.
So what's your final message to the entrepreneur listening to this that may still be debating whether or not they should really invest their time, energy, money into all things AI or not? What's your final message to that person?
The final message is do it. Do not listen to people that are telling you that AI is not big enough. And I would say, like, I don't want to say be scared or anything. There's not about a scarcity, but you need to understand especially if you're an entrepreneur, you need to understand about future prediction too. Like any entrepreneur needs to, kind of like future press about what's going to happen. And all I would say that I learned it from Alex Hormozi, one of the number one thing that you need to think about that the industry that I am at the moment, is it what do you call it? Is it like a trending or is declining? Okay, so that's what you need to think about. If you reckon the industry that you are is declining, just get out of it. Just change it, because it's very obvious. Like things like SEO is dying, right? I actually have a friend of mine that has a SEO company, and he told me that how he got a big hit with this AI because the people are not looking for SEO anymore, like they used to in the past. Because everyone goes searching the ChatGPT and stuff. They don't care about the SEO anymore. Like there are other ways to do it, and that's why he actually one of our students now, because he knows learning AI because he wants to pivot. So don't be scared of pivoting. Yeah, there might be a period of time that you need to learn new skill set, but if you are in that industry that it's just declining. And or a lot of things like programmers going to be replaced. If you're a programmer, try to learn AI, like use Cursor and try to use your creativity. Again, push yourself to that leadership role. Maybe you can manage it. Maybe you can learn AI and teach other people how to use Cursor. Maybe you can put yourself into the education industry and start teaching people rather than just if you're just sitting there writing code by your hand, you need to know that you're going to be replaced.
Yeah.
So it just be aware of it and try to do something about it and gradually learn it and put yourself in something that's trending rather than declining.
Okay. Cool. Well, this has been a very interesting conversation. Where can everybody find you on social media and your school group? Obviously, we'll get the link. We'll put it in the description below so they can go and join it for free. Where can everyone find you on social media?
Social media, Instagram. So you can put at Atena Pegler. LinkedIn. I'm not that active in LinkedIn though. I got a YouTube channel and I put a lot of content these days.
Yeah.
So my YouTube channel has lots of content.
Awesome.
These days.
I love it.
So,
well, I have a final question for you to wrap this up. If you were to go back to your 18-year-old self and give her 30 seconds of advice, what would it be?
Oh, that's a challenging one. 18 years old, just trying to remember. Oh, what would you do? I'm asking the same question from you.
No, it doesn't work like that. You can't ask me that.
Cheating, huh?
What's yours?
No, you say yours first, and I'll go to mine.
Mine has always been, when people steal this question on me, it's always stop giving a shit what people think sooner. Took me a long time to really kind of get over what are people going to think of this? And it's very freeing to live in a world where I do not give a fuck.
Okay, that's good. Because you're the first person to ask me that question. That's why I haven't thought about it. Very spontaneous. Oh my gosh, I don't know. 18 years old. Yeah, I'm just trying to look back to see what I was doing then and what challenges I had. It was many, many years ago. Yeah. I would probably say, yeah, I would probably say, don't let your situation to limit your potential. So what it means is that, because a lot of us want to be a kind of victim about our situations, and we all have difficulty in life. So when I was 18, I was obviously living in Iran back then.
When you were 18, you were there?
Yeah, I was in Iran, and I was ambitious. So ambitious was always in me. And in Iran, you barely can find any woman that can be CEO or be successful. And me being ambitious, living in that country, I was always like, no, you cannot do it. It's impossible. The situation, the environment you are not going to allow it. And now I had that limited belief that this is how it is back then. So I left Iran when I was 24. 6 years after that, and I came to the realization I have to leave the country to be able to, pursue my ambitions. But I think that when I got back to 18, I was at that point, which is that do not let your situation to stop you from achieving anything that you want. Like, if you're broke, you're anything you are, don't say, I'm broke, that is how it is, I'm always going to be broke. So it's your it's not your responsibility you were born broke, but it's your responsibility if you leave this world broke, because this is your choice. And you can completely turn around your life if you choose to. And if you fight for it. If you fight for your dreams, you don't give up on them, because as long as you believe you will make them happen, you will find a way. So I think that's what I would say, because I do recall when I was a teenager, I was battling with myself about this is how it is.